It is Wednesday again. Welcome back to Top Cheddar Sports. We are coming to you from our alma mater, Robert Morris University, the campus of Robert Morris, in one of the classroom buildings, if you will. Switching it up a little bit, and as you can see now what we're going to talk about today,
because it's
in
time.
order. So now you can fast forward the video.
Let's talk about hockey.
Yeah. You can fast forward to the parts you want to hear, but I recommend you listen to the whole thing because it's going to be great.
Absolutely.
So let's start it off.
Just to keep you on your toes, something that wasn't on our board right away. Chandler Stevenson traded from the Washington Capitals to the Vegas Golden Knights for a 5th round pick.
A little depth add.
Yeah.
There. All right. I like it. Now let's just get right into it. So as you can see at the top, we mentioned last week Bill Peters, all that was going on with him. I'm going to give myself some credit here because I predicted that by the end of the week he would be fired, and he was. He technically resigned. He sent a letter of resignation into the Flames, but he was going to get fired either way.
Yeah, it was kind of a forced resignation.
Right. So Jeff Ward, who was an associate head coach for the Flames, will get an opportunity to now be the head coach. It is his job for the foreseeable future, his job to lose, and they're undefeated under him so far. So good start there. John Hines of the New Jersey Devils, probably the most disappointing team in the league, I would say, to this point. He gets fired after a lot of high expectations for the Devils, given their offseason and getting Taylor Hall healthy again, who we'll talk about in a little bit, as you can see. So he gets fired, and they promote I believe it was their bench coach to their interim head coach spot for now.
Yeah. A couple signings across the league. The Bruins were active. They signed Charlie Coyle to 6 years, $31.5 million.
Wow.
Good for Charlie Coyle.
Big contract.
There was kind of little rumors about this, and then what do you know? 2 days later, this all came true. Chris Wagner, he got 3 years, $4.05 mil. So they're staying active.
The Bruins keeping that great team intact.
Yeah, they're off to a hot start. The players know that. They want to be there.
There it is. So we mentioned Taylor Hall. So there were talks that man down there is already, Devils are already listening to offers on him, which is pretty substantial given that it's still pretty early in the season, so they seem to be already kind of folding, I guess, on their chances. So Taylor Hall is leaving. That is a fact. The question is when, and the question is where. So right now, there are 4 main teams that seem to be the front runners in talks with the Devils for Taylor Hall. Those would be the St. Louis Blues, the Colorado Avalanche, the Montreal Canadiens, and
your Pittsburgh Penguins.
So of those teams, for me, I think the most likely to land him, I think there's 2. I think it'll be the Canadiens or the Avalanche. I think they both have the assets to get the deal done. I think the Canadiens really, if you look at their roster and their season so far, the one thing they are lacking is offense. So I think they're going to be more inclined to make a big splash and kind of be stupid maybe even, and make a big deal for a guy like Taylor Hall. The Avalanche, on the other hand, have the cap space, have the prospects also to get it done, and they're obviously in a really good position to maybe win the Cup this year, so I also see them as a likely possibility.
Yeah. I see the Avs as the front runner, and from Taylor Hall's perspective, he clearly just wants to be at a place where he can win, and with especially the real tough competition that you have to go through to get to a top 2 or even 3 spot in the Atlantic, I see him preferring Colorado for that reason.
Fair point. I also think it's probably more likely from the Devils' perspective to trade him out of conference. So I do agree with you there. Although, if you're the Devils, rather than having the guy walk, and they're not in a contending position, ultimately you're going to trade him for the best package, I think. But something to think about.
Unfortunately, this happens every week.
Speaking of those Penguins,
it's time for an injury update. So the Pens suffer 2 pretty hard injuries for this team. Brian Dumoulin is out 8 weeks. He is, of course, although Chris Letang gets the spotlight, he's right up there with the leader of this defense. He's such a huge asset to this team and the true defensive leader there on that core, so that's really tough for them. and then Patrick Hornquist is out at least 4 weeks. So, yeah, another hit to the Pens. We'll see if they can. I believe right now, if it ended today, they're in a wild card too. So
yeah,
we'll see if it.
The injuries for this team all year long has been ridiculous. Last bit of news for the week: Jesse Puljujarvi of the Oilers will officially not be signing with them. The deadline is passed. He will continue playing overseas, and he will not be in the NHL this year. Likely the end of his career in Edmonton. Not a shock here. I thought with the Oilers' hot start, maybe he would be more inclined to kind of give in, I guess, a little bit, take a bit of a pay cut, but he's standing firm, so bye-bye, Jesse. So now I thought it'd be fun to kind of take a look at the top 10 points leaders in the NHL to this point in the season. So we'll go down the list, just any thoughts, we'll just rattle them off. No surprise who's leading the league currently in points. It's your boy, his boy,
my boy,
Connor McDavid. 51 points already.
Fantasy captain and God.
51 points already.
Yeah, we expect him to do great things. This is a whole nother level. I expect him to have multiple scoring titles by the end of his career.
Oh yeah.
Upwards of 5, honestly, and this strong start to possibly having another one of those years.
Very much so.
His teammate Leon Draisaitl,
number 2,
1 point behind him.
Yeah.
I think Draisaitl doesn't get quite as much attention as he deserves. Being in Connor McDavid's shadow, still one of the best players in the league, and he's proving it.
Yeah, and the big question is, can these two pretty much lead the Oilers to the playoffs? I mean,
right.
If you look at that lineup, their bottom 6 is horrendous.
So
they are literally, to this point, carrying the Oilers to a playoff position as of this moment. So
it's pretty much the first
incredible.
2 lines and the first line of defense is what's carrying them at the moment.
And then at 3 and 4, you have another pair of teammates, which is just crazy to me that the top 4 are 2 teams in the league. You have Brad Marchand at 43, Pastrnak at 42, 2 more guys just tearing it up.
Absolutely.
They're not so much carrying their team as much as these 2.
Right.
But certainly a huge part of that Bruins team.
And I want to note, out of that 42, 25 goals for David Pastrnak, where I believe it's 25 assists for Marchand. So he becomes the fastest player since Lemieux to hit 25 or more goals by December 1st.
Look at that.
Incredible feat for him.
Amazing. So then rounding out the top 5, Nathan MacKinnon tied with Pastrnak with 42 points. Not a surprise there either.
Nope.
McKinnon's been great despite his line mates being hurt for most of the year.
Right.
Number 6. You love to see this.
Eichel!
It's your boy, Eichel, Jack Eichel, coming in with 38 points to this point, 6th in the league. That Sabres team has kind of had a resurgence this year, which is great. I love to see it. I'm still skeptical they'll keep it going all year.
Yeah, I think sooner or later it might collapse, but
I think this guy will continue.
Yes, their captain's success being the leading factor there.
He's always been an underrated player since he's been drafted. He's had very good years, but certainly the best year of his career so far.
Yeah. Number 7, a defenseman nonetheless, John Carlson. Phenomenal year.
Yeah.
He's having
Norris-type year.
On track for a Norris at the moment, easily the top contender at the moment, and phenomenal year. I thought after maybe the 20-point mark he was going to slow down because he hit that so fast. He's not. He's cruising.
Yeah. I'll let you take number 8 as well.
Number 8, Patrick Kane, another fantasy player of mine this year, and core piece of the team. Phenomenal year he's having, especially lately. He got off to a pretty slow start this year. So it was good to see him turn that around. It ended on December 2nd in that game. However, he was on a 15-game point streak with, I believe, 23 points in those 15 games. Phenomenal.
So, yeah, that's what the asterisk is for, obviously, that point streak.
Right.
So he has really risen. I mean, he had, 10 points the first, 18, 20 games of the year.
Maybe a half point per game, and not many goals.
And now look at where he's at. Number 9 on Artemi Panarin.
The Breadman.
Not a shock, but a little bit of a surprise on a bad Rangers team. But he is not slowed down. He's doing what he's done his whole career so far. So good on the Breadman. That signing's looking really good for the Rangers.
I was going to say, at least that signing's panning out.
Him and Zibanejad have had a nice little chemistry going as well this year. And lastly, number 10, but certainly not least, ya boy, the grade 8, Alex Ovechkin. 31 points. Not sure how many of those are goals. I believe
15.
like 18.
I was going to say, it's more than 15. I believe he's more goals than assists here.
Yes.
So,
Oh, yeah.
of course.
But obviously, expect another 30 plus at least, maybe 35 goal season from him yet again this year. Who knows? The sky's the limit with this guy.
He's potentially on pace to maybe hit the 40 goal mark at this point. We'll see if it can happen.
Just an awesome player. But that'll do it for Top Cheddar Sports this week from Robert Morris University. Leave a like, leave a comment, smash the subscribe button. Smash it. Let us know in the comments where you think Taylor Hall will be traded and where you think the best fit for him would be. Let us know what you think about the two coaches being fired. I imagine Bill Peters won't ever coach again, but let us know where you think John Hines might end up, if anywhere. And
let us know who you think is going to hold the scoring title at the end of the year also. Do you think that man at number 1, Connor McDavid, will hold on to it, or is one of these other guys going to rise up?
Yeah. And as always, we will see you now tomorrow for those NFL picks.
See you then, guys.